Welcome to day 24 of my 100-day trip around Australia. Little pinch. Yesterday I found out that my car may have a cracked head, which means today I'm stranded in Rockhampton. So, naturally, I'm going to do everything I can to explore this town. I've heard it's filled with some pretty good parks and zoos. Good morning, people. I'm back in the park to fill up my water bottles, but I wanted to... What is that sound? Oh, it's people over there. Sorry. I wanted to show you something super cool that I found yesterday, which might be the coolest thing I've ever found in a park. Honestly, this might be the coolest park I've ever been to. It has all of this stuff. But the thing is this. It's like a little monorail for the kids. Whoa, this is hard to pedal. Why do we ever stop playing on playgrounds? We just let kids have all the fun for no reason. Like, we should just play tag and stuff. That'd be super fun. In an effort to kind of prepare for anything that might happen, I'm currently packing up all my clothes that are dirty because I don't think I'm going to have time to wash them, or I don't know when I'm going to wash them, and I'm putting clean clothes as well as stuff that I think I'll need into my hiking bag, which I originally packed because I thought I was going to do some multi-day hikes, and that's still in the cards. But it's handy to have now because if I do end up getting the car towed, the plan from there would then be to hop on the train or public transport of some nature, and that would involve having a lot of stuff in a big bag, which is what I can do with that. Alrighty, I've packed up most of the stuff. It's in the bags kind of there and back there. And now I'm going to go to the place that can tow the car because I want to see how it works, how much it costs, and go from there. I'm not too sure. I think this is the best option, to be honest, but we'll see how it goes, I guess. Alright, I'm still stuck in Rockhampton, but I just caught the bus to the zoo. I haven't caught the bus in Queensland before, but I do love catching the bus as a general rule, and why not? I'm not exactly a zoo person, but when in Rome, and it's free entry, so win-win. There's a botanical gardens as well behind me, a zoo in front, cool animals, Australian and otherwise. The one that I saw advertised the most was the meerkat. I think I'm going the wrong way. This sign says entry this way, that one says actually it's the other way. So yeah. See some cool animals. It feels like kind of a scam to find them in a zoo when I haven't found them in real life, and also probably poor on the animals, but what can I do? Plan a jailbreak maybe? That would make a good video. Ooh. I've got the map on my phone. This is the first stop. Psych, it's closed. I was wondering why it's so empty. Cassowary viewing. Those things are basically dinosaurs. I can't see any. Okay. We'll move along. I've been capitalism so bad that whenever I see meerkats, I think of Compare the Market. Is that what they were called? The comparing meerkats with the accents. Respectfully, these guys stink. I think you heard me. Didn't mean it. I didn't mean it. This guy was just death staring me. He was looking majestic though. Look at this little hairbrush. That's something that I just not spot in the wild. That's an ibis. This guy. That's who I was recording, not the kangaroos. I like to think of the emu as the cassowary's slightly less evil cousin. Or maybe the ostrich's weird friend. This guy's got literally a mohawk though. He is keeping up with the trends.
I personally believe that there's a 7-metre crocodile out there somewhere in the wild. I reckon they can get to 7. But that's sort of like, you know, my Bigfoot. Yeah. I reckon there's at least one out there somewhere in the middle of nowhere where no human's ever been.
Get a load of these critters. Sorry, that's mean. I can't include that. Oh wow, the camera can see through the glass much better than I can. It is very dark. It's a little wombat. There's another one. This one you can actually see his face. Aren't they cute? Look at how well camouflaged koalas are, dude. This guy's asleep, but it's literally so hard to spot him, even though you know that he's somewhere in this enclosure. I think his name's Charlie. Even though you know he's there, it's so hard to see him. If I kind of moved the angle a little bit, like if I came over in like this and I said, hey, spot the koala, I don't know, maybe I'm tripping, but that is hard. That doesn't look PG. Oh, brother, what is going on? I'm so sorry. Hey, buddy. Alrighty, I've made it back to the campsite. I don't know whether you can tell on video, but it is very smoky around here. I checked the fire warnings and there is a smoke warning, but there's not any nearby fires. So she'll be right. There was something I was going to say. Oh yeah, the zoo. The zoo is actually super nice, and most of the animals were animals that had been rescued and deemed unable to be returned into the wild because of their health, or well, basically because of their health, which was super nice. At least they were there for their own well-being rather than our entertainment. And yes, that's the other thing. I've been organising today, and the car is being towed. It's been booked in, and I'm dropping it off tomorrow, which is good. It's a bit over $1,000, which is expensive, but if you think about how much fuel would cost to get back there, it's not that crazy. The problem is, I don't really know how I'm getting back there. The easy option would obviously be getting a plane, and that would probably be the cheaper option as well, but I'm not the biggest fan of easy options. So I'm thinking I'll public transport it one way or another, or bus, train, whatever, one way or another. And that way I can stop at some spots on the way, and then by the time I get home it'll be closer to when the thing arrives, and then I can work on the car then. The most challenging part of organising to bus the way back is figuring out where I'm going to stop and how I get out of those stops. Because if I want to get out of the stop and do something, I say, I want to stop here on the coast here and do some snorkeling, the problem is then figuring out how I'm going to get back on. Because the buses themselves, you can sleep on those, which is fine. But if I'm not on the bus overnight, the question is then, where am I going to sleep? Because I don't have the car anymore, and sleeping is expensive, especially in touristy places along the coast, which is inevitably where the buses will stop. Oh, I just tripped over. So, it will be interesting. I need to do some planning this afternoon. I'm currently walking through the park again, Kind of because I wanted to go to the bathroom, kind of because I just wanted to think and go for a walk. I may have cucked myself slightly by opting to catch the train rather than a plane. But did you really expect anything else from this trip? I mean, it's kind of on brand. So, the original plan was to continue heading up on public transport because there were two things more that I really wanted to do on this trip. The first one I didn't even know was a thing until I started off, and that's up in Townsville, or off the coast of Townsville, and it's called the Museum of Underwater Art. And it's actually what it sounds like. It's literally a greenhouse out in the ocean full of art, like sculptures and whatnot, that you can snorkel down to see. It's like between 10 and 20 meters down, and it's right next to the Barrier Reef and kind of Magnetic Island, which is all very well known for snorkeling and diving and the marine life, which just seems super cool. It was also quite expensive. It's like $300 to $400 for a ticket, but I was like, well, this is the only time in my life that I'm probably going to be able to do this unless I win the lottery or something. So might as well just do the whole thing and worry about it later. You know, a little bit of extra work. It is what it is. But now that I don't have the car and I have the additional expense of the car, it's kind of more of a problem, because even putting the expense of the car aside, I then have to get the bus up, then get accommodation, then do the thing, then bus back down, potential accommodation again. So it all becomes really expensive. The other thing was Daintree Rainforest, which is the thing that I've been super excited for the whole trip. It was one of the things which was like, ooh, that's really cool from the very start of planning. But I don't know, I just really like rainforest, and Daintree is humongous and looks really cool. But it's really hard to get up there by public transport. It's pretty far up by car alone. I'm pretty sure it's further up than Cairns. It's like Port Douglas area, I think. So even getting there by car is a trek, but getting there by public transport is even more of a trek. And then you get more problems of where am I going to stay? How am I going to get there? You know, am I walking? Am I catching taxis to get to the place? Because I'm not going to just walk out the bus stop to a campsite or to a hostel or whatever. So I think because of the cost and the hardship of getting there, I'm just going to have to put those on hold and head down south from here. Alrighty, I just spent the last probably 2 hours trying to pack everything into the 2 bags and clean up the car so that the car is ready for when it's being towed, and I am ready for my trip back home. The journey home itself will probably be about a day and a half to 2 days, so that's going to be interesting. The tickets are booked for the first leg, which is to Brisbane. Unfortunately, I just couldn't plan the stops to be along the way. It wasn't worth the money or the time or the hassle. I'd much rather save the money, use it to fix the car, or use it for the remainder of if I get to go back out again, rather than spend it on going to places which I've already been or which I skipped by because they weren't on my list. So yes, for now, Rockhampton to Brisbane, and then Brisbane a couple of stops, and then down through New South Wales towards Sydney. Right now I'm on the way to fill up my water bottles again. Tomorrow I'll have to drop off the car at some point between 9 and 4 and then make my way to Rockhampton station. But the catch is they're about 7 kilometres away from each other, and there's not really a bus that I can get between, and I am probably the biggest opponent to getting an Uber anywhere because they are expensive. So I imagine I will be walking, which I'm sure is a decision I'll regret with that massive hiking pack on my back and the backpack on my front, but such is life. And then the bus itself is at midnight, so again, a lot of time to kill, and it will be dark, so that should be interesting as well. I haven't planned that out at all. Otherwise, I think I'm done for today. The car's actually tighter than it has been the whole trip. For the first time, this front seat's actually empty. It's mainly because a lot of the stuff is packed into this bag and the one back there. But still, even down there is quite tidy, which is unusual for me. It literally wasn't like that at the very start of the trip. Also, the lights have come down, so that's why the door's open. But yeah, I think everything is pretty much ready to go. I need to get some food, but otherwise, there's not much more to be said. It's day 24, which means that I'm not actually a quarter of the way through my 100-day quota. Not how I expected it to go, but honestly, it is what it is. It could be worse. Makes it interesting at least. That's what I'm always thinking. For tonight, I'm probably gonna get an early sleep because I don't know how many hours I'll get in the next couple of days being on the trains and whatnot. But I guess until I see you. Boop. I took 10 photos today. I don't really have an excuse. I just only took 10. Most of the photos were from the zoo. Normally I'm not really the biggest fan of zoos because it kind of feels like we're just caging animals for our own entertainment, but this one felt quite different. All of the animals there, as far as I know, were rescued, and the ones that stayed there long term were the ones that were unable to return to their natural habitats. And one of those was Valkyrie. She was a wedge-tailed eagle, which is just such a majestic animal, and she was so beautiful. And she was in a car crash, or she was hit by a car, should I say, and her wings were damaged so badly that even after being healed, she's now unable to sustain flight for extended periods, which means that she can't return to her environment. So instead, she stays in the zoo where she can be looked after and cared for, and she can fly around a little bit in her cage. And the name Valkyrie felt so fitting, just such a powerful animal and a powerful name. So that's today's photo, number 24, Valkyrie. I guess if that proves anything, it's that there's no shame in accepting help if you need it. And I'm going to rank this photo 16th. It sits right next to another photo of a bird in front of Fraser Island.